Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. And if you've been playing Hearthstone ladder at all lately, you probably have been running into one class a lot. And well, as the title of this video indicates, Hearthstone has a bit of a Paladin problem. I mean, just look at that win rate over there. We're gonna go into it, how it's actually not just in standard, it's also in other modes. It's pretty crazy, and just go over what could be done about it. How do we get to this point, and or is it even a problem? Is it just fine? If you enjoy the content on the channel and you feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, it helps us out a lot. And before we get into the Paladin stuff, I did want to do a little channel announcement, because you might notice that I rarely upload gameplay and all of that, but recently Blizzard has updated the free-to-play progression, new player progression in Hearthstone, starting a new account, unlocking all the stuff, and progressing through the game, which includes free decks, catch-up packs, a whole new rewards track, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun over at twitch.tv/Zeddy to start streaming on a brand new account. I actually already made it today, Zeddy free to play, where we're gonna start a brand new account, take it and see what it's like, and also how long it'll take to get to Legend. I'm not gonna try and speed run through it for Legend, but I wanna take this new account and play through it and just see how much the new player experience has changed. I know they've overhauled the tutorial, everything, and I'm planning on uploading every couple days or so a highlight video of our journey on this free-to-play journey on the channel. I'll still have our daily discussion video, but I thought it'd be a lot of fun to have maybe every couple days or maybe every day. We'll see how it goes. What our free-to-play journey's like. I know Trump used to do it back in the day, and I just thought it'd be a lot of fun to take a look at that. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments below. Again, you can check it out on Twitch or sub to the channel and get, notified of when those highlight videos will go live to see what the experience is really like, especially maybe you've been away from Hearthstone and all that. It also works for returning players and all that, at least the new deck stuff and all that. So something we're gonna start today. We're on my stream starting around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Pacific, and we'll be going for quite a while. So check that out. Anyways, the main topic of the video, Paladin. If you take a look at standard across all ranks, it's one of 3 classes with above positive win rate. It's at 57.4, which is getting to the realm of when Demon Hunter was super busted. It's over 60%, being almost 20% ahead of Demon Hunter, which still makes no sense. Aggro Demon Hunter is 52% at Legend, but people just keep trying to play, bad Demon Hunter decks. And even if you take a look at Wild, 57% Paladin, running very similar cards, so what we'll talk about in a second about standard, with only 3 other classes above positive, and Twist, which has none of the new cards, 55%. It's the top class in Twist 2 because they buffed a bunch of hand buff stuff. That's a lot of buffing, and it's been unchecked forever because they don't update Twist. They don't do anything for it. So it's just, pretty busted there, and nobody really plays for the most part, and it's just sad. And I didn't even hit Legend and Twist last season. I'm I couldn't believe it. They brought Ungoro back, my favorite expansion ever, and I didn't even want to play it because it wasn't Ungoro at all. It was just hand buff Paladin and Jade Rogue or whatever. That's not Ungoro to me. That's not what I played. Anyways, off topic there, but if you take a look at standard across, this is of course across all ranks. What about at the higher rank? First at bronze through gold, we have Aggro Paladin, Showdown Paladin, tier 1. If you take a look at diamond through legend, you have Aggro Paladin, Showdown Paladin, Earthered Paladin, all tier 1, nothing else. You go to Legend, you got Aggro Paladin, Showdown Paladin, and Rage Warrior. That's old stats. Let's go last 3 days. There you go. Showdown Paladin, Aggro Paladin, Earthered Paladin, and top 1000 Legend, Showdown Paladin, Naga Priest, which has an incredibly small sample size, so not really reliable. Aggro Paladin, and yes, Aggro Demon Hunter, like I keep saying, it keeps getting better. 2000 sample size. I like how it says 50%, but I guess it's based on a different range. Regardless, it's just crazy. Paladin is dominant. Usually it's punishing at lower ranks. It is punishing absolutely everywhere. And how do we get to this point? Well, Paladin did get nerfed somewhat recently when we had the Sharpshooter nerf, and again, Sharpshooter already back up there. But Order in the Court got nerfed, and that was a significant nerf. If you've noticed, all the slower decks, like the more slower pure Paladins or Highlander, Paladin, all that, they're not up there anymore because they were the decks that utilized this. But the aggro decks, the showdown Paladins of the world, they adapted. They have so many insane tools that once the latest balance patch happened that nerfed creation, Sith Mage is still good by the way, but more importantly nerfed Enraged Warrior pretty hard, which was one of the best counters to Paladin. It's kind of unchecked now because there's no Paladin nerf in this patch. So what we're left with is a meta where Paladin is relatively, left unchecked. It's ridiculously good. Not even the hardest thing in the world to play, so it just dominates at pretty much every bracket. And we take a look at Showdown Paladin. So what are the cards that are really being the standout kind of problematic issues with Paladin? For me, one of the things that Paladin's main weaknesses typically were in their aggressive strategy is if they fell behind, they really struggled to get back, right? You could play a lot of stats, but it came at the sacrifice of you fall behind, you're probably not going to recover. But two cards in particular lately have really nullified that weakness. Keeper Strength being one of them, just a ridiculous card. You compare it to Shadow Flame. Yes, it hits your own minions too, but you buff your own minion and it's a complete board wipe. It's pretty darn crazy. It's got the Holy Tag on top of it, which makes it like tutorable, discountable, all that stuff. And then Prismatic Beam, again, can come down for 0 mana when you couple it up with like a Showdown in particular. I don't think Showdown is actually a problematic card when you look at it, but what it enables is the Prismatic Beams of the world and just getting things out for dirt cheap. It turns out, you'll never believe it, when cards cost 0 mana and they're pretty powerful, like a Prismatic Beam, they become really good and kind of problematic. If you're taking a look at other cards that are just really, really strong at Paladin, we have Hi-Oh Silverwing, which is just ridiculous. I mean, again, I know this is an older card, but compared to a Loot Hoarder, which was a 2-mana 2/1 Death Rattle draw card, it didn't have Divine Shield, it didn't have a Tribe, and it didn't draw a specific card. Like, that's how crazy this thing is. Like, it's one of the best cards out there. You just put it in like almost every Paladin deck, apparently 94%. Boogie Down is another funny one because this is, again, like super high mulligan win rate card, super good. People wanted to get nerfed compared to Call to Arms and Wild. Think about how much better Call to Arms is. For 1 more mana, you get an extra minion and they're all 2-drops. Like, I know it got nerfed to 5 mana back in the day and it's absurd at 4, but just think about that. Like, how do you nerf Boogie Down to make it not just like way worse than Call to Arms, which is 4 and Wild? But again, another real standout card. And then because of all that, it makes cards like Deputization Aura work really well with the Showdown, but let you stick that board, get that lifesteal. And then of course, Garden's Grace, which you want to play all these good spells, play all that. This comes down for 0 and has insane synergies with all this. It just couples together with just an unreal engine that Paladin has. They draw cards now. They've got board clears. They got great endgame and Titans and weapons, and you can even run Eartherns. Like, Earthern Paladin's a legitimate deck, not because Eartherns got buffed or really got any more support. It's just the Paladin shell itself can basically sustain any archetype. It's just busted, right? So what do I expect to see happen? Well, we know there's a balance patch coming next week, and I do think Paladin needs to be addressed. And I feel like it's, to me, the end of the day, Paladin should have a weakness, and that weakness should be on that AoE side of things. But like, again, old time Paladin had to rely on like a quality consecration, had to rely on like Lord Baroth and Broomstick. Like, nothing was uber efficient. Most of it didn't go face other than like, you know, consecration for 2. But now it's ruthlessly efficient and aggressive at the same time, that I just feel like these both of these AoEs could honestly be scaled down. I could see Prismatic going to like 8 or 9, so it can't cause 0. Keeper Strength is a card I felt like should have been a control card, where it's like give a friendly minion the buff and all that, but they can't attack the hero this turn. Similar to the 5 mana, give your minion +8/+8 or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like it should be more of a control style card or board control, not just like a, you know, play a big thing and smack face. I don't know if that's unrealistic, but I just feel like it's not so much, at least the way I felt the spirit of the card should work. Boogie Down, like, you make it 4 mana. I don't know how you compare it to Call to Arms. I don't know what you could possibly do with those cards. Showdown, I have made the argument of like, you make three 3/3s on each side of the board. It's all 3s. Why not make the card 3? But I think Showdown's a cool card. I think it's fine as is. It just really, to me, comes down to those AoEs, and that's it. Like, Earthrons are fine. Countess is busted, but you gotta have a busted win con if you want to go pure. Same with, you know, Reno in Reno decks. It's just kind of a thing, right? You need to, otherwise you're just not gonna win games. So I don't know. That's kind of the Paladin problem going on. It's really dominant. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you think it needs to be dialed back significantly? Like, basically, I'm saying multiple nerfs, or are you thinking that, you know, it's a relatively healthy thing, but I don't know, when it's that common and it's that played, it's just, to me, yeah, it's probably got to get dialed back just a little bit. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Again, free to play run later today over on Twitch. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.